right, we'll get started in just a moment. Welcome. I'm seeing familiar names again. I saw many of you were at the Python workshop yesterday and at the Getting Started with CodeHS workshop last week. Thrilled to see you back today. I think you're really going to enjoy what we have for you today. We'll let everybody get settled in and we'll get started in just a moment. We'll have lots of links to share out. We'll have you join a workshop section again, and there will be an attendance link in a little while. We'll make sure we get to that as well. We'll get started shortly. I think our numbers are settling down. Okay. Everybody, thank you again for joining us. We are so very, very excited to have Carmen Bryson with us today. She is an amazing teacher, an amazing CodeHS teacher trainer, an amazing CodeHS Inspire Fellow, and also an amazing recent Aspirations in Computing Ohio Affiliate Award winner. So we are very, very lucky to have Carmen with us. And we will get to talk to Carmen shortly. All right, let's let a few more people in. There we go. Welcome. Welcome to all of our newcomers. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our Intro to JavaScript workshop. Let's go ahead and, Carmen, let's go to the next slide, please. All right, everybody, so here come the links. So if you would like to check out our slides today, and I would definitely recommend, if you have the capability to grab this link right now, go ahead and do that. If you can even watch along on your phone or another mobile device, you can always scan that QR code as well. But go ahead and browse out to codehs.com/javascript-slides. Somebody will go ahead and toss that into chat for us, and that will give you access to the slides for today. And might be easy access to get to some of those links as well. You will get access to the slides in the workshop section too. So if you don't want to grab it here, that's totally fine. And I will also send out a link to the slides in the follow-up email too. So we'll give you just a second if you want to take a picture of that code or that URL or scan that. Go ahead and grab that. All right, go ahead. Let's go to the next slide. All right, now, because we have a few more participants in this workshop, I would love for you all, if you've got questions, to go ahead and use this question parking lot today. It helps us make sure that we can stay organized and really get your questions answered. We don't want to leave anybody hanging with questions. So if you can go ahead and pull up this question parking lot, codehs.com/javascript-questions, or scan the QR code, and that will pull up the question parking lot. You will also have a few links there as well that will give you just a few quick links for the workshop today. But please use this for any questions that you might have. Give you just a moment here. Take a picture of that if you need to. All right, Carmen, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so many of you have already started, but we would love to hear more about who we have in our room today. So if you could take a moment to go ahead, excuse me, and introduce yourself in chat, please. That would be great. You can add your name if you'd like. You can also add what subjects you teach. That would be great to hear more about what you're teaching. Have you used CodeHS before? And what kind of experience do you have teaching JavaScript? And let's see, I'll give you a second to do that. See, oh, we have somebody who's new to JS, love it. It's one of my favorite languages. This is the first course that I ever experienced with CodeHS. And let's see. Looking back in chat a little bit while we're waiting for a few of those introductions to come in. Let's see, it looks like we might have lost Carmen. Is that the case, everybody? Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? All right, give me one moment. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. But go ahead and keep tossing those introductions into chat. And I'm going to go ahead and get set up and start sharing my screen a bit. So bear with me one moment while I get that pulled up. And while I'm doing that, what I'll also mention is that I actually started using CodeHS, oh gosh, back in 2014. And the first course I ever used was this Intro to CS in a JavaScript course as well. So this was definitely one of, it's a course that's very near and dear to my heart. I'll just say that. And one of the ways that I actually started using this course was when I had a student, a senior, come to me who actually wanted to learn some coding. He was preparing to head off to school, and he had never gotten to take a coding class. And so he came to my office every day during study hall, and I decided I would teach him how to code. And that was how I ran across CodeHS. And so it worked out very well. I got super hooked on CodeHS as well. He was thrilled with it. And actually, I believe he went into programming in college. So that was pretty cool. And I didn't look back. I used CodeHS since then. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I also have not pulled up chat again, so bear with me one more time while I get that ready to roll. Thanks everybody for being patient while I make a quick pivot. Sometimes it's like walking and chewing gum for me. I need to stop talking for a moment.
Lori, I can share my slides if it's easier for you to be able to.
I think I've got it ready to go.
Have the other stuff? Okay.
I think we're good. So,
okay.
But thanks, Joni. I think I've got it now. Hey, keep an eye out and see if Carmen gets or comes back into the room. I know she had a couple of internet issues this morning, and I thought, it never fails, does it? That's just how that goes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. And I just happened to see in chat, hopefully you're seeing my slides right there. I just happened to see in chat that somebody mentioned they're a Python teacher. That's awesome. I hope you're going to love the JavaScript course as well. All right, move that Zoom window back out of the way, pull up my chat so I can see all those cool introductions. Okay, so, and I see we have a librarian here. Just as a side note, that is where I started in my district a long, long time ago. I was the librarian. I've had some JS, but it's been a while. Cool, awesome. New to JS, Python teacher. Yes, Don.
I've noticed that librarians across the country are becoming like tech leaders at the schools.
Librarians rock.
I've seen the transformation at the school I used to work at. The librarian morphed into becoming the educational technologist as well.
Yeah,
both jobs. Yeah,
and that was exactly what my journey was as well. So I started as the librarian and became the district tech coordinator. So excellent. We have a wonderful mix of teachers. This is so cool. So I'm really excited to have you all experience this today. Let me move one more window out of the way. There we go. We'll keep going. Okay, so you can go ahead and keep tossing those in. We love to get to know everybody. So definitely keep tossing your introductions into chat for me, please. Okay, so for anybody who might be joining us today who's never used CodeHS, we would love for you to go ahead and sign up for a new account. You'll want to browse to codehs.com/signup. And that will let you sign up for a new educator account. Accounts are completely free. And so if you don't have one yet, we definitely want you to sign up for an account. That will also let you participate in all the workshop activities today. And so that would be great if you could take just a moment to do that. I think we do have a couple of new teachers in here, so we'll make sure you get a moment to do that. And if you have any trouble as you're signing up for that account, go ahead and drop a note into chat. Perfect. We'll have somebody from our team go ahead and help you out with that. Oh, good. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you enjoyed the session yesterday. Hopefully Carmen makes it back in. I think she'll make it way more fun than I will, but I can definitely do this if she doesn't get in time. So not a problem. And while we're giving you all just a moment to do this, I neglected to mention, and shame on me. Not only do we have Carmen Bryson, who might be leading our session if her internet comes back for her, but we also have several team members on with us today. We have Joni and Don from the PD team. They are joining us today. We have Ursula from support. She was waving right there. And we have Ryan from curriculum on today as well. And Ryan is actually the one who is primarily working on this intro to JavaScript course. So we'll hear from Ryan in a little bit, and he'll give us some really cool updates about what's coming with this course this year. So that's really exciting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the next screen. Once you've created your account, or you have an account you've signed in, I would love for you then to go ahead and browse to codehs.com/go/3FAB9.
Carmen's in.
I saw it. We're going to give Carmen
I didn't
a
know
minute.
if you saw it.
I did. And my heart went, yay. Carmen got back in. Carmen, we'll give you a moment to get settled. We'll let people go ahead and get enrolled. And Carmen, I'll go ahead and finish sharing my screen. And then once we're ready to transition, we'll just have you take over again. Phew. I was thinking, all right, I've done this before, but Carmen is the star of the show. I don't want to take that.
Can you see my screen?
Oh, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
You can go ahead and hold off on sharing for right now.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and finish up this part, and then we'll trade. How does that sound?
Okay.
Perfect.
Hopefully it open up. Like I said, I have been having terrible internet trouble.
Oh, no worries. And you know what? Now I'm ready. So if that happens again, I'm going to jump right in and pick up where we left off. So we're good. Awesome. We're just right now getting everybody enrolled in the workshop section. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a quick peek over here. You won't be able to see. Oops, and Ursula, I need to add you into that yet. I was getting all excited about who I was adding, and added Emily instead of Ursula today. So I'm just going to add all of you to everything. You just get all of the courses. And we are getting a good number of people enrolled. Perfect. So this is the same process that many of you will use to enroll your own students. So this is great practice for everybody. Go ahead and keep doing that. If you have any trouble enrolling, go ahead and drop a note into chat, and one of our team, or into the question parking lot probably, and one of our team members will help you get enrolled. And one more link. I say that now, there might be more links. One more link for now. If you could go ahead and click this attendance link, that would be great. codehs.com/javascript-attend. Once you click this link, it should tell you that you have, I'll go ahead and click it so you see. There we go. Thanks for letting us know you attended this event. If you get this message, you are good to go. If you did not get this message, you might want to finish signing into CodeHS first to make sure that you can see this message. The reason why this is important is because this link will allow me to send you a certificate of attendance. So if you could go ahead and click this link, that would be great. Either later today or tomorrow morning at the latest, you will get a certificate of attendance from hello@codehs.com, and it will be for 2 hours for attending this. All right. So our agenda today, we have a lot of stuff packed in. We will be finishing up our check-in in just a moment. Carmen's going to go ahead and take us into a little bit of a course overview, and then Ryan's going to jump in toward the end of that course overview and tell us about some cool updates that are coming. Then Carmen's going to lead us through a lesson from a student perspective and a debrief, and then another lesson. So you'll actually be able to experience the course and experience the lessons. And then we will have some really cool breakout sessions for you to choose from. You'll be able to learn about teacher tools or jump into a session with Carmen and talk about individualizing instruction and talk about some other strategies with your course. So at that point, Carmen, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and I'm going to let you share.
Okay.
Here we go. And I'll follow along just in case we drop off, so I can jump in and help there.
Okay, so I'm getting a message, host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Since you dropped off, I forgot I had to make you a host again. There we go. Try it now, Carmen.
Okay. Now I gotta find my slides, of course.
It's just real world. This is so real world, isn't it?
Right, exactly.
I can always appreciate when things like this happen because this is how it is in the classroom.
That's how it is when you're teaching.
Exactly.
Can everyone see my screen?
Perfect, Carmen.
Okay. And I'm just going to get to, thank you for being so patient. Like I said, I've been having a lot of internet trouble today, of course. On a day I'm going to present to a national audience, I would have internet trouble. But today I'm going to give you an overview of JavaScript. I'm going to tell you a little bit of my background. I'm primarily a math teacher and I'm transitioning over to computer science. So when I was a math teacher about 5 years ago, I was going through the internet. My internet was working at night. And I was trying to look for just catchy lesson plans to spice up my math curriculum. And I stumbled upon CodeHS. And I stumbled upon the Java course. And I started playing around with it and fell in love with the platform. I fell in love with the interactivity of using Carrot or Dog and getting instant results. And it got my coding back up to speed. And after completing the course, I was able to pass my praxis test to get my license in computer science. So that's why I'm so passionate about CodeHS and JavaScript, because it's a very good introductory language to get kids coding. So a little bit of the overview of the course. It's a full year course for high school students for grades 9 through 12. And what I also love about it is you can customize the course. Let's say you have a kid that's very advanced. There's a JavaScript for advanced kids, the honor section. There is a section for kids who want to learn JavaScript and take the AP exam. And then you also could customize it so that you just want kids to learn the basics of JavaScript. So one of the nice qualities of CodeHS is you can customize it. And like I was saying, it's highly visual, dynamic, and interactive. And that's what gets kids hooked on coding. Because when you say coding, sometimes kids say, oh, that's boring. I don't want to learn how to code. But with CodeHS, they have this interactive platform with Carol the dog that gives children instant results. So, and they learn the foundation of programming skills. They learn, the computational thinking. They learn logic. They learn for loops. They learn while loops. They learn if-then statements. So Carol is a way to get the kids hooked into coding, and they can learn more and more about coding. And as they advance through coding, JavaScript also teaches them, how to make a basic video-based arcade game. So it gets into even more advanced topics like data structures. So you start off with the basics with Carol the dog, and then you progress to more advanced topics. So what I also like is the structure of CodeHS. Every lesson begins with a short video or tutorial, and it just goes over the basics of that concept. Now, what's so nice about the short videos is kids can rewatch them, and they can stop them, and they can take notes, and they can replay them. So every lesson starts off with a short video, so if kids want to revisit it, they can. Then after the video, they have a quiz on that concept. They're given an example to play around with. The code is already written and it's correct, but what it allows kids to do is explore, with the code, make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and just play around and explore with it. Then after the example, there are exercises that children can work with to make sure they're mastering the concept. And there are also projects that can, be more even for like to advance their knowledge. It expects no knowledge of programming. Like I said, when I even picked up the JavaScript, it had been 15 years since I actually programmed, and I got back into the basics of it. And also children who have never been exposed, students who've never been exposed to coding, it's a good way to get them introduced to programming that if they don't have any prior knowledge. It's a web-based program, so all you need is a browser, a good connection, like I need to have, and also a Chromebook, and that's all you need to get started. Now, the structure of the course. The course is broken down into modules of the major concepts, and each module is broken down into lessons. And the lessons take about 1 to 2 days. How long the lesson takes is in the lesson plans, and CodeHS provides a lesson plan for every lesson, I believe, with the Pro platform. And also, at the end of every module, there is a quiz to see if kids have mastered that concept. Now, lessons are broken down into activities. So every lesson, we start off with the activity of a video. Like I said, the beauty of that is that kids can rewatch that video. You have your options in how you want to teach that video. You could watch it together as a class. You could assign it for homework, like if you were having a flipped classroom. So you do have a lot of options with that video. Like I said, I love it because if they didn't understand it, I can tell them, well, rewatch that video. And then after the video, they do have a short quiz on it. And then they have an example that they can play around with and explore. And then they have some exercises that they can do on their own, or you can pair them up. So you have different ways that you can present the material to the students. Now, the module breakdown. So all of the JavaScript programs start off with programming with Carol the dog, and this is to get them kind of acclimated to programming and learning the basics in a fun and engaging and interactive way. But then you get into other modules. You can do JavaScript and graphics. You learn control structures, like I said, the if-then statements, the for loops, the while loops. You learn functions and parameters. So kids are learning how to write efficient code, and they're not just repeating lines of code. They learn how to create a function to just call that code once instead of repeating it. They learn some fun animation and games. And like I said, they even have more advanced topics like with data structures and more challenging projects. Another thing about CodeHS, what makes it so nice, is that you are provided with the ample wealth of supplemental materials. You have extra practice that you can use with your students. You don't have to create none of this. It's all provided. Midterms, advanced Carol challenges, additional topics, and even advanced JavaScript challenges. Nothing that you have to go search for. It's all there. But if you do have a favorite lesson that you do want to add, you have that capability also. All righty.
Yeah, let's let Ryan have a moment to actually talk a little bit about some of the updates that are coming for
thank
Intro
you.
to JS.
Yeah, happy to. So glad to see everyone on here during summer. I imagine most are in summer now. So yeah, we're super excited. This course is actually the first CodeHS course, so it's been around a while. And that means we have, as Carmen just pointed out, a lot of supplemental material that has been built up over the years. But then we've also received a lot of awesome teacher feedback over the years. Teachers always have opinions and great insight into how things are actually implemented in the classroom. So we've taken, as a curriculum team, we've taken all of that, and we are making just a few updates to our course this summer. And we're all just so excited by it. Many of you are new, so you might not even know the old course, which is fine. But essentially, we're making a few updates. One, the smaller one, JavaScript as a language, had their second biggest revision about 8 years ago. So that was after we had built this course. And so we're now incorporating some of those syntax changes. And then we're going through and we're redoing all of the video slides and re-recording all the videos, just giving it a much newer look, which if you've seen some of the older videos, you'll agree that these new ones are going to be awesome. We're also incorporating a variety of different voices. And so students get to just hear different people talking about coding, which we hope will reach a larger diversity of students. And then we are taking the teacher feedback and our experience with the course, and we're just going through and improving the pacing and kind of pedagogy of the course. So there's some things that we're just shifting. There's a few lessons that have just got a lot of feedback saying, hey, this jumped in difficulty. So we're adding, more support around that and just changing some of the flow and pace. So again, we're really excited. If you haven't taught or worked with the old course, you won't know the difference, but you will see that it'll be fresh new videos, and hopefully things will be sharp for you. And so that we'll share a link, if we didn't already, in the chat. You can read more about those changes. We're expecting to release the course by the end of July, so that you can take a look at what's in there and start preparing. So if you make any sections with the current course, you'll see, what's currently there. And then after we release the course, you can make sections with the new course. So you're still more than welcome to plan and go through content now. It's going to be mostly the same. It'll just be some updates that, we'll make it even better. So, thanks for letting me share, and I will pass it back to Carmen.
Thank you, Ryan. Now, today I'd like to go through some sample lessons with you. In the first lesson, I'm going to act like the teacher and you'll be the students, but you got to make sure that you're enrolled in the right section. So here's the link to that.
I think we have most people in the section. If anybody is having any trouble at all joining that section, don't hesitate to drop us a message about that.
So I think everyone's enrolled. So we're going to look at two sample lessons today. One we're going to work through together, and I'll pretend like I'm the teacher and you can pretend like you're the student. And we're going to look at 1.1, an introduction to programming with Carol. Then we're going to look at another lesson where I'll demonstrate other resources available in CodeHS. And in that lesson, we'll look at functions and parameters, which is a more advanced topic. So for being introduced to Java, I'm just going to show you how, to use the program. You don't have to feel you have to know the answers to that. We'll just play around with it. And we'll look at a variety of ways to present materials to students in different environments, whether you're in person or virtual. And the concepts I'll be using is from the free plan. Some of them is from the pro plan. I believe that The lesson plans and the handouts are from the Pro Plan. So let's look at lesson number 1, Introduction with Programming with Carol. So for opening discussion, in your own words, and you can use the chat, and even if you see your answer already in the chat, still participate and you can still put the same answer in. In your own words, what is a computer? So answer that in the chat. Okay, excellent, Anna. A computer is a machine that performs instructions. Stacy, excellent. A computer has the ability to receive data, and process results. An electronic device for storing and processing data. A computer is a machine for input and output. Excellent. Excellent responses. An electronic device that stores and processes data. An electronic device that only tells the programmer, only does what the programmer tells it to do. Excellent. A computer is a machine that uses a process to process data that has been inputted. That's great. So those are excellent responses. So let's look at some other questions. Is a dog a computer? So you can say yes if you agree and no if you disagree. A dog is a computer. Yeah, a dog is not a computer. It may not follow your instructions, but then some people's dogs don't follow your instructions. Yeah, a dog like Carol in CodeHS is following instruction commands, so he is in. That went so fast. Yes and no. So would someone like to unmute and share their answer? Or raise their hand and share their answer?
Carmen, sometimes my dog is like a computer.
Yes.
If I tell my dog the right words, sometimes my dog will listen. But sometimes if I forget which words I've used, my dog won't listen.
Right. Exactly. They do listen to certain commands. Excellent. Okay. So what we're going to do today, we're going to be introduced to Carol. So who is Carol? This is Carol. It's Carol the dog. And Carol's a dog that listens to your commands. And so to give you a little history about Carol, Carol was named after a Czech writer who coined the phrase robot. So Carol is a robot dog named after him. And what can we do with Carol? Well, Carol lives in a grid world. Carol can move forward. Carol can put down tennis balls and pick up tennis balls. So there's only 4 commands that Carol can do. It can move one space. It can turn left 90 degrees. It can put down a ball, and it can take a ball. But we give Carol commands. But when we give Carol commands, it has to have exact syntax. There's no spaces in the commands. It needs to match the exact capitalization, and every command has to end with a parentheses and a semicolon. So let's look at our first Carol program. So you're enrolled in the course, and so you want to go to the section where it says, JavaScript class, and then you want to make sure you're under the first example that we're going to work through. Okay, so you got to be in my sections, and then you have to be in the teaching intro to JS for new CS teachers. And you got to try to get to the lesson that says the activity, our first Carol program. So if you have any trouble, you can put that in the chat, and we're going to try to do our first Carol program together. Okay, so make sure you're in the right section, and we're going to do our first Carol program. But before that, let me see if you can do a quiz. So make sure you're in this spot, and first see if you can do a quiz. And then we're going to do our first Carol program together. So let us know if you're not in the right spot. You can let us know. And so that quiz is just like a one question quiz, and then we're going to work on the example together. Okay, so let's work on our example together. This is our first Carol program. And if I run the program, if I press the green button and run the program, you can see that we get the right result. We're trying to mimic the result. You're trying to match the result on the left-hand side, the result world, and you see that we do. So with every example, they always give you the correct code at first. But let's play around with this code and explore this code and see what would happen if we put errors in this code. So for line 3, instead of put ball, I'm going to do a lowercase b, because remember, everything has to match exactly right. And so if I run it with the lowercase b, it's called camel case, where the second word is usually capitalized, and I run the program, you can see it gives me an error now. Oh, you made a typo. Okay, so I must have needed to put a capital B instead of a lowercase b on line 3 for football. So if I forgot that, I can also use this dots, and it'll go over the right way to write the commands. So I need on line 3 to have a capital B. And then now, if we run the code and run the program, we'll get a notice that we're correct. Now, let's just say I didn't move 2 spaces. So let's say I only moved 1 space after I did the put ball. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, also you'll get a code that is not correct. Okay, you see we get this notification in red. Oh, Carol should be on Avenue 5, but it's on Avenue 4. So what I can do, if also another feature, is we can run this program very, very slow, or we can run this program fast, okay? So that's another thing to adjust. Maybe you need to run it slow to see, well, how many spaces do I actually need to be at? So you can use the slide button to adjust the speed. but I realized I need to be one more space further. So now I'm going to type in move and then a semicolon. And then if I run it, we see that we will get a notification that nice job, you got it. And then we can hit continue. And so this is a nice way where kids can play around with the code, or you could do it as a class, explore it, learn the fundamentals. But most of the time when you do the example, the code is written, but you don't have to have the code written. I could have used this all blank and then had you write it from scratch. Okay, so now it's your turn to continue on. But let's just say you have a student that's really advanced and they didn't have the patience for you to go through that example. Well, CodeHS provides access control where I could, right now the program is available, but I could click on this and lock it to make sure no one goes ahead. So that's another option that you have. But now that you've finished your quiz and we went through the example, you can go and do the next two exercises. One is your first Carol program, and the other one is called short stack. So you can take a couple of minutes and see if you can code those two exercises. Okay, hopefully that's you had time to kind of look at the two exercises and get introduced to Carol. As you can see, you get instant feedback, and that's what really makes kids enjoy programming, because you get to see instant results. So you can put a thumbs up if you're finished, and if you're finished, then we can move on to kind of wrap up lesson number 1. So just put a thumbs up in the chat if you're finished. And then for the functions and parameters lesson, I'm going to just, you don't have to do it. I'm just going to show you how you might go around, how you would go about, doing the lesson for your class. You don't have to do it though. And you're welcome. And also there's you can always come, well, they always have access to come around and play with these two programs, at a later time, Lori, where they still have access to, okay, so if you're not finished, you
Yes.
can always come back and just play around with it. Like I said, that's how I learned it. I didn't have any pressure on me. I didn't like, okay, I was in a class. I just kind of played around on my own and learned it.
And one thing too, don't feel like, oh no, Carmen and Lori and everybody else, they're going to be looking at what I'm doing.
Yeah,
This is for you to experience. I promise none of us will grade you. It's all good. And actually, Carmen, I'll mention too, this is exactly how I learned how to code as well.
Yeah.
I primarily learned JavaScript, Python. I keep going through the list and then I forget stuff. Java, more about HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, all of that. Because of CodeHS. So
this is why I wanted to do the intro to CodeHS, because like I said, it's been 15 years since I coded, and I just thought it was a nice platform, user friendly. You don't have to feel no pressure. So it's just a way just to get back into coding. So and I also like how it's so interactive. You're learning from your mistakes, you're getting instant feedback. So just want to let people know that this platform is out there, but don't feel pressured like, oh, I gotta have the right answer. And even with the next module that we're gonna go through, parameters and functions, that's, like I said, more advanced topic, but I just want to, kind of show people around the platform. Okay, so if you're not finished, it's fine. It's fine, no pressure. And okay, so let's just see if we have some lessons learned, just a way that you can use this in class. What are some of the different commands that Carol knows? And you can type them in the chat. What commands does Carol know? And it's just a way for a teacher to see, are the kids understanding, check for understanding. So in the chat, what are some of the different commands that Carol knows? Excellent, Anna. Move, put ball, take ball, left turn. Or turn left, right? Turn left. Excellent. So just a way for, you've done a lesson, you want to see if the students have, understood the basic commands. And it's just a good way to do a quick little check-in. It lets you know, do I have to, explain it better? Do I need to revisit it? Do I need to provide some more support? And then with our next question, what can Carol teach us about computing? So let's take a stab at that. What can Carol teach us about computing? It only does what it's told to do. Excellent. Give Carol input, see the output, the results. It must be typed correctly. Excellent. To complete given commands and tasks. Girl does what we tell it to do. Thinking logically. Excellent. Okay, so after I, check for understanding to see if the kids understood, the different concepts I want to get across, we can do homework. But you have that kid that, if you do that, the nice thing about CodeHS is I can do this electronically. I can give this form out electronically because all the forms are Google Docs. And so then you can just put it in Google Classroom or whatever platform you use as a classroom management tool, or you could actually print this out. So you ever get that student like me that, okay, I couldn't do the homework because my internet was down. Well, here's a hard copy of it. So that's the nice thing about CodeHS. You have it as a Google Doc. And with this homework, what they're doing is just reiterating the commands of move, turn left, put ball, and take ball. So, another way you can reinforce the concept that you're trying to convey in class. Let's just go over the lesson and different alterations I could do to this lesson, which makes CodeHS so remarkable. So I taught the lesson through the slides, but the beauty of the slides is I could have deleted some slides. I could add some slides, okay? Also, there is a video that we could have watched. So in the flipped classroom, we could have watched the video. Also, we could have watched the video together, or like I said, you can watch it individually. You can watch the video and then have a class discussion. You can watch the video and pause it and ask questions. You can have a kid rewatch the video if they keep asking you the same question, like, okay, then you need to rewatch the video. So that is the nice thing about the introductory video in every lesson. Now, like I said, we have with every lesson, there also is an example. So as we did, we played around with the code, changed it, ran it, explored it. But I could have also had you just do it on your own without doing it as a group. Or you could debug it in pairs. Or you could explore the example with a partner. So there was a lot of ways that you can present that lesson to students. Then in the exercises, we completed them individually, but we could have done a small group and completed the lesson, or we could have gotten to pairs and completed the lesson. So you have a lot of flexibility also with the exercises. Then with the lesson opener and closer, we began with a discussion question. We did a short little quiz. You could have did a mobile exit survey. And then we also looked at the worksheet in the handout. And with the worksheet in the handout, we could have it electronically, or we could have had it, put in Google Classroom or disseminated another way electronically if you don't use Google Classroom. Okay, so next we are going to get in some breakout groups. And I don't know who's going to assign the breakout groups, but you're going to pick the breakout, the lesson that you're going to look at. You're going to look at a lesson and the lesson plans in CodeHS, and whatever breakout number they give you, that's going to be your the file that you look at. You open the file with the same breakout group number. And just take a couple minutes to go through the lesson, look at the pedagogy and discuss it in groups.
We're going to go ahead and toss a link into chat first. So go ahead and grab the link that I just tossed in there, codehs.com/. JS workshop/lesson 1. And then inside of that folder, you'll be able to choose your group's number. I'm going to go ahead and open up the breakout rooms in just a moment. And bear with me one moment. And we're going to go ahead and open up those rooms. And you can join your breakout room. You should see a pop-up that appears on your screen once I open the rooms. And if you don't see that pop up, you can always go down to the bottom of your Zoom screen and click on breakout room to see which room you've been asked to join. And we will let you all chat
Lori,
for about 5
sorry.
minutes.
Lori, I'm sorry. I think we have a question.
Oh, sure. Who has a question?
Is it Giselle?
You can go ahead and unmute if you would like.
Yeah, Giselle Archie.
Yeah, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still at work and I've been listening the whole entire time.
Oh, that's fine.
But yeah. So I won't be able to join the breakout rooms, but I still wanna,
No problem. If you're
thank
not
you for letting
able,
us know that.
yes.
Thank you for listening.
And if anybody
No
is in a position where you cannot join the breakout room, I know some people still have school, so you might be with students right now. And so if that's an issue, just hang back. We'll only be in the breakout room for about 5 minutes. That is not a problem. And you can still head out there and open up one of those docs if you like and take a look at that. That is absolutely fine. So no worries.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you for mentioning that. That definitely gave us a moment to talk about that then. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and open up these rooms. Some of the team members might pop around from room to room and see how we're doing. And we'll let all of you have a chance to network together. So I'm going to go ahead and open those. We'll see y'all in just a few minutes, everybody. Hosts, I did give you the option to join a breakout room. Carmen, you don't feel like you have to do that at all. You can hang back and prep. I think Carmen did. Cool. Excellent. But you could just hang back. That'll be just fine. So we're going to let this go for about 5-ish minutes. So about 3 minutes after the hour, I'll close this. And I might pop out to the rooms and just kind of jump around. We'll see if I can navigate. And you're a co-host, so that's perfect, just in case I fall out or join the other room. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pause recording too. So help me remember.
Okay.
There we go.
You can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to do another lesson. This time you don't have to feel that you have to do the exercises. I'm just going to kind of present the lesson to you and show you different ways that, you could use this in the classroom. And in this lesson, this is a more advanced topic. It's 7.1 functions and parameters. And for homework, I'm going to do this like in a flip format. For homework, they're going to watch the video and take notes. So now you always gonna have that child that says, well, I can't watch the video because my internet's not working at home. And maybe legitimately it's not working at home, or, whatever's going on, or the internet goes down, or you could always print out the slides for the video. So for homework, they're gonna, watch the video and take notes. And then what I would have is when they come back to class the next day, they would do the little check for understanding quiz to see if they actually did, do their homework and take notes. So in this assignment, they're learning, like I said, about parameters and functions. And what functions mainly, their primary goal of functions is not for you to repeat code, that you can just call the function to do the task. So you're not, writing the same lines of code over and over again. So if we wanted to double a number, we wouldn't write code for every time we put in a number, then, multiply it by 2. we would just have a function do that. So I know that, we're not, experts at JavaScript, or we're just learning JavaScript. But in the chat, do you see any errors already in this code? And if you do, can you tell me the line numbers where you do see errors in this code? So in the chat, if you happen to see any errors in this code, can you just put it in the chat for me? Excellent. On line 3, there is an error. And so on line 3, what would we need? Exactly right, Natalie. There's no semicolon. So on line 3, we need to have a semicolon. Okay. Again, like I said, this is an advanced topic, so if you may not know this, but there's also another error. Just take a second and see if you can find where there might be another error at in this program. Can anyone see where there may be another error at in this program? Well, if we look at line 10, I have to define the function. So line 10, I need to have the word function, double number. But notice in parentheses, that's called a parameter. The only parameter is 3. So what would that need to be so that it just doesn't work for the number 3 being doubled, but for any number being doubled? How could we change line 10 so that any number could be doubled? Excellent. We need to have X in that place of 3. Therefore, any number could be doubled. And then there's also one last error in here. And that is, what do we want to print? So what do you think we want to print? Yes, we want to print double X. Excellent. Okay. So we don't want to print Y, the variable. We want to print this value right here that has been assigned to 2 times X. Now, if I wanted to enhance this program, I could have the kids open the editor, and then this time they could see if they could write a program to add 10. Instead of doubling the number, we could modify it and have it add 10. So to add 10, I might, where I have this word double, I might have 10, the word 10, and then I would have it equal to 10 plus X. But then we also have even students that are even more advanced and they want to, do something even harder. So then I could define and make a program that adds 2 numbers together. So if we were to add 2 numbers together, then I would be passing in 2 parameters. And then I would have a line that takes the 2 parameters and adds them together, and so forth. Okay, let's keep on moving. Okay, so then in pairs, I could have students square a number and triple a number. That could be another activity. You could do it in pairs. You could do it individually. You would have that flexibility. Now, I hope this works. I was going to show them a way you can do collaboration. And through collaboration, what I would do is I go into CodeHS, into the sandbox. And if I hit this word right here, share, and then hit collaborate, 2 people could share this link, and then it becomes like a Google Doc. So that's another way where you can have kids collaborating with the program. Okay. And then, yeah, that shows you how you can collaborate. You would go into the sandbox, and then you would hit the collaborate button. It'll create a link, and 2 kids could share their program. Okay, another thing you could do, like I said, you can add activities and you can add lessons and to CodeHS. So maybe I wanted them to do a reflection. So I'm just going to show you, I don't have my tabs open at the top anymore. I'm going to show you just how in CodeHS you can also add more activities. So right here, it's so easy. It takes 2 seconds, 2 minutes. I would just click right here on add new assignment, and then I can add another activity that I generate. So that gives you even more options. Like if I hit add activities, and of course my internet's slow, I could add a quiz, I could add a practice problem, I could add a video, I could add a coding exercise. And like I did, I added a free response. So you have options to add different activities, which is another cool feature. Okay, so then again, we would do a homework assignment. And in this homework assignment, again, it helps kids to understand the difference between parameters and calling a function. And in this one, I think they're doing a hokey pokey dance. And so instead of, it just teaches them how to write code more efficiently, just to call that function once, you put your left foot in, take your left foot out. You write code to do that procedure, so you don't have to keep writing the same code over and over again. And again, you could have this document electronically. You could have it put in Google Classroom. You could print it out. So you would have different options of how you wanted to do your homework, for kids to do their homework. So now let's go over the different alterations I could do with this activity. So I could go through the Google Slides. Okay, so we also have slides with them. I could add more slides to that presentation, or I could delete some slides if I wanted to. We could watch the video. Like I said, with this lesson, I let the kids watch the video in a flipped classroom, and then when they come back, they can do the little quiz after the video, or they can watch the video together in class and have discussions. With the example, I could have left it blank. With this example, I actually put bugs in the program to see if kids could debug them. We could debug them as a group, or we could debug them with a partner. Or you could have them just do it on their own. So you have a lot of different options. With the exercises, you can complete those individually, or you could complete them in small group. And you could also do the paired programming. So we saw the option of how you could collaborate. You could also collaborate with the student. It doesn't have to be 2 students. That's another option for you. And so when we begin and close the lesson, we start with a class discussion, and then We have our short video quiz. You can have a mobile exit ticket. And of course, you're given, the handouts that you can provide with them, just print them out, or you could, give them to them electronically. So you got a lot of options with that. Okay, so now it is time for break. So let's take a quick break.
And actually, right before we take the break, Carmen, I think I'm going to pop in for just a moment. We've had a couple of requests to see a little bit more of the sandbox. So it's up to you if you'd like to demo that, or if you'd like me to do.
You can do it.
You betcha. I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead
and across the top are gone.
I'll go ahead and snag that share from you. There we go. And okay. So I think you should be, you should be seeing my screen now. So I'm going to do this real quick, and then we'll go ahead and head into a break before we do some breakout rooms. So right now I went out to my sandbox. So everybody has access to a sandbox on CodeHS, teachers and students alike. And this is an area that's completely outside of the courses. So it's not constrained by all of the requirements of the different activity requirements, things like that. It's a place where kids can really create things on their own, and teachers can pull this in to your content as well and use this in your lessons too. So if you're not sure how to get there, if you're logged into CodeHS, you can always click on Sandbox in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and make a brand new program. So I'm going to click and create a program, and I'm going to write new cool program. Super innovative name, but that works. I'm going to call it new cool program. If you are a little bit familiar with programming, you don't have to exclude spaces. It'll be just fine. It'll fill in all those spaces and take care of all that. Just type it as you normally would, and then click create program. Since we are in intro to CS, I'm going to choose Carol, but you can see there's a ton of things here. I'm going to leave it on Carol and click create. And now it's setting up my sandbox. So it's setting up my environment where I can play and create my own program. It gives me a little bit of starter code. So I can erase that if I want. I can add more code for Carol to complete. I can run that, but this is no fun. I want to play. I want to play and collaborate with some other people on this. So to do that, I'm going to click on share right up here in the top. When I click share, excuse me, I have a couple of options here. I can see code, and that'll just let me share my code, share the program. I can share the app, or I can collaborate. Now, when I click collaborate, I get a link here that's going to be very important. I need this link. I need to copy it, and that's what I'm going to use to share with other people. I'm actually going to drop that link into the chat. And now, please go ahead and click that, because I would love for you to collaborate with me for a moment. And there we go. Look at all those people coming in. If I mouse over, I can see your names. And everybody, feel free to go ahead and start typing. You can absolutely collaborate with somebody else this way. I don't believe I did not turn on my chat bubble, but you can even chat with others in this mode. Now you can see that when we just kind of open it up to whoever wants to join, it gets a little bit chaotic. So you want to think about that in your classroom. You may not want to, say, have 35 students all collaborate in the same sandbox. It might get a little crazy, but you can easily have kids do this and have their own little groups. Maybe they do pair programming this way. This could be a really cool option. Carmen, how have you used this in your classroom?
Like I said, when it was when we were down for, like when we were virtual, this really came in handy. And also when we first came back, we had to be 3 feet apart. So I was trying to, really enforce that rule. So they did collaborate. because we had to be spaced apart, and they may not have wanted to be up on each other, so it
Yeah.
worked. Yeah.
And you know what? I think that's great that you mentioned that, because I think in this new day and age that we're in, where we might be dealing with these different kinds of situations coming through
Right.
our buildings again, why not have a little bit of distancing?
Yes.
And for teachers, I know
And for teachers too.
when I was in the classroom, I was sick all the time.
Yeah.
And so, if you don't
Exactly.
have to hover over a kid, that's not a bad thing.
Right. Exactly. And you know how you might have just a small cold, so you don't want to be up in someone's face. So
Yes. And
you have a little distance.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And to answer your question, yes, all teachers have access to the sandbox to collaborate, everything. Free teachers and pro alike. So absolutely
Yeah, I
use
think
this
it's a cool
feature.
tool. And also creating a lesson, like if you want to create, I think that's good. That's a good one also.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to go into a break. We are at 27 minutes after the hour. So I'm going to give you a short break, just 5 minutes. And this time I'm actually going to stick to 5 minutes, unlike what I did with the last breakout room. But I'm not going to close my window. So if you want to keep playing here, by all means, go ahead. If I close it, it'll close the session. But you can absolutely keep typing. You can also, on your end, you're going to see a little button up here that says fork. You can actually take a copy of that for your own sandbox if you like. So if you would prefer not to step away from your computer, you can keep playing. If you'd like to take a quick break, please do that. But we're going to come back at 33 minutes after the hour. And at that point, I'm going to go ahead and open up some breakout rooms. I'll go ahead and introduce it. I'm going to open up 2 breakout rooms. You're going to have the option to head out with Carmen and do some chatting about individualizing instruction. I think that's a really critical discussion to have. And so that's going to be an awesome option for all of you. And then the other session is going to be to focus in on some teacher tools. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the pro tools that are available, but also talk about ways that free teachers can use tools as well, or the tools that are available to you. So let's take that break. I'm going to mute and turn off my video for just a moment, but we'll come back together in just a couple minutes. See you in a minute.
Hey, Lori.
You're muted, Lori.
Lori, are you there?
I have been talking away and nobody can hear me. Seriously.
I thought maybe you were taking care of another issue real
Yeah.
quick. And so
No.
just like,
I'm talking to everybody here. So sorry.
hi, Lori, welcome back.
Hey, everybody. So I'm going to try that again. Welcome to our world, everybody.
There are no breakout room, right?
I haven't opened them just yet. I was just telling you about them, but I was muted. So I'll go ahead and tell you about them one more time. So we've got a couple of different breakout rooms. And what I will say about these rooms is that if you are in another situation right now where it might be hard to join a breakout room, maybe you're with students, these are going to be the kind of rooms where you can simply listen. So it's okay if you can't participate, no matter which room you want to join. Both of these will be okay to just join and listen to if you'd like. Unfortunately, we're not able to record the breakout rooms. So hopefully that'll work for your situation. If not, there's definitely some other workshops you'll be able to join as well, where we'll get you more information. The two rooms you'll have to choose from are going to be Carmen's individualizing instruction. This is going to be a great opportunity to talk with Carmen about different ways to meet the needs of your individual students, and just how you can use CodeHS to do that. She's got some scenarios to talk about with that, and it'll just be a great opportunity to chat about some different options or listen in on those chats as well. I think you can learn just as much from that too. The other breakout room, I will be talking a little bit about some teacher tools, both the kind of tools that you can access whether you're on the pro plan or if you're just going to be remaining on the free plan. So you'll be able to choose one of those. Again, it's okay if you're not able to jump into one of those, but these would definitely be able to be sessions that you can listen in on. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and open the rooms. You will be able to choose the room you would like to go to. And you should be able to see the rooms pop up now. And you can choose which room you want to go to. Go ahead and head out there. I'll head to Teacher Tools in just a moment. Carmen, you can head to yours. And I will see you all in a little bit. If you don't see the option to head to a room, you might want to look at the bottom of your Zoom screen for the link that says breakout rooms. And then you can click that and choose your room. Give us a moment. All right, I'm going to head over, but I'll keep an eye on this. Carmen, are you able to get to your room? You're muted, Carmen.
Okay, Lori, I don't see my name to
Oh,
join.
here, let me, I wonder if I can just add you. Hang on.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Add you to the right room. I almost added you to my
Okay.
room. Give me 1 sec.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You bet. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and close our breakout rooms. That was so fast. That was not enough time to show you all of the cool things. There are so many cool things. And even for free teachers, you're going to have a ton of stuff that you can do on the platform. So definitely check it out. And if you're not sure about something, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Ursula will go ahead and throw in the chat a good way to reach out to the CodeHS team. If you can always email me, I'm happy to answer questions, but they are faster, so much faster. They've got me so beat. I will never keep up with them. So, and they're going to give you amazing information. So, all right. I think we're still bringing a few people back. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as we start wrapping up our session. Oh, so close to time. So close. I almost made it. Ursula's done some other workshops with me, and I think she's probably thinking, Lori, you always talk too much.
Lori, did you hit the button again?
I did. I hit that button right in the middle of a good discussion. I'm such a button pusher. Such a button pusher. It's all good. All right, everybody. I hope you all had some amazing discussions. It has been absolutely amazing to be with all of you today. I know all of us on the team, our teacher trainers, I'm going to speak for all of us on the team. We all get very energized working with teachers. And so we absolutely love doing these workshops. And teacher trainers, Carmen, we get so many ideas just from being in your workshops. So we appreciate this so much. And we know that we've gotten some amazing feedback from teachers who love being in workshops with teacher trainers. You're the ones who are in the trenches and work with kids every day. And you know how to use the platform better than we do. So thank you so much. We appreciate that. We've got a few more resources for you, and we'll make sure you get all these links in the follow-up email as well. If you love CodeHS, check out our Certified Educator program. You will definitely want to be a certified ed. I was a certified educator. I even got to keep my badge for a while after I came to the company, but you'll definitely want to check that out and some of our other programs. You'll also want to check out all of the other workshops that we have coming up. We have a lot. We've got one more this week, and it is tomorrow, and it is with another fabulous teacher trainer, Chip Kramlich, and he will be talking about physical computing with microbit. So definitely check it out. You can see all our whole list of workshops at codehs.com/freepd. You know what? I didn't have a whole lot of experience when I became a certified educator. I would say go for it. You'll apply. It is absolutely fine. Oh, and there's our upcoming workshop. So we have the one tomorrow with Chip Kramlich. I highly recommend jumping into that one. That's going to be a really good workshop. If you've used microbit at all, those are so much fun. And then next week, we kick off the week with another teacher trainer, another Carmen Lagalante from California, will be taking us through teaching fundamentals of cyber for new CS teachers. And by the way, JavaScript folks, we have a second JavaScript workshop coming up this summer. Do not let the name fool you. You do not have to be experienced to come to that. It's for those, it might go into a few deeper things, but you've got your experience now. Make sure you sign up for the second intro to JavaScript workshop for the summer, and we're going to go into more of these things in more detail. Check out that list at codehs.com/freepd. We have one more thing. We would love for you to take a moment to fill out our workshop survey. We live to do this for you, and we want to know what you need. So help us out with that. Tell us how we did today. Let us know what we can bring you. We will absolutely review this, and this is what drives us. So take a moment to fill out our workshop survey, codehs.com/workshop survey. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So I'm 3 minutes over, talking super fast. So we're going to continue wrapping up. Again, just a big thank you to a few people. Thank you to the CodeHS team. You are all amazing for being here to support us. And Carmen, we couldn't have done it without you. We wouldn't be here without you. So Carmen, bravo. Thank you so much for delivering so much amazing information.
Thank you.
Amid internet issues and everything
Right.
else. So this was fabulous and we learned a lot. And I know everybody loved this. And thank you, teachers. Thank you for everything you all do. We know it's been a year. And thank you for sticking with it. Thank you for continuing to do the best you can for your kids. And we appreciate you. Let us know how we can help. Survey site can't be reached. Let me go ahead and drop that in one more time. Whoop. Give that one a whirl. We'll see if I typed it right.
Sorry, guys, I had a typo in it. Just saw that.
Oops. No worries. I never make typos, Joni.
Yeah, I know.
Every single link I've gotten wrong in the last 2 days. It's crazy. Perfect. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing all of you, hopefully tomorrow, at the next CodeHS workshop. Bye-bye.